Jack Flaherty's a little sore, so Dean Kremer says, hold my beer. And Anthony Santander hits 2 home runs in his return to the O's lineup as the Birds rout the Toronto Blue Jays in Game 2. Let's talk about it and have a mound visit.
Let's go O's!
What's going on, Birdland? Baltimore Bops here, and welcome to the Baltimore Bops YouTube channel where we discuss all things Baltimore Orioles. I'm your host, Bops, and in this episode, we are going to talk about the Orioles' 7-0 smashing of the Toronto Blue Jays in Game 2. And the story here off the jump is the fact that Dean Kremer came in and pitched 6 innings of no-run baseball, and he wasn't even supposed to start. Jack Flaherty was scheduled to be on the hill, and for whatever reason, he was generally sore. I don't know. Maybe just Brandon Hyde decided that he was going to turn to the Dean. Maybe he liked the matchup. I really have no idea. But regardless of how Dean Kremer got there, he pitched 6 innings of really good baseball, and he was the perfect pitcher for the night, if you will. So let's go ahead and get into the box score. So the Toronto Blue Jays, no runs on 5 hits, and their defense was atrocious. They had 3 errors. The Baltimore Orioles had 7 runs on 10 hits and no errors. Adley Rutschman goes 1 for 5. Gunnar Henderson goes 1 for 5. Anthony Santander goes 2 for 4 with 2 solo shots, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 8th. Big stinking return to the lineup for Anthony. It's good to see him back in there. Ryan Mountcastle goes 1 for 3 with a ribby. Ryan O'Hearn goes 2 for 4. Austin Hayes goes 1 for 3. Ced goes 0 for 3. Jordan Westberg goes 1 for 4. And Ramon Urias goes 1 for 4. Birds go 10 for 35 as a team and draw 2 walks. Dean Kremer gets the W. He goes 6 innings, 5 hits, 5 Ks, no walks on 94 pitches. What a stinking game by Dean Kremer. I think it's super interesting. Like, when did Dean get told that he was going to be taking the hill? I'm sure he got a little bit of time, but there's so many different ways that this thing can go. Jack Flaherty's scheduled to start, and then Brandon Hyde thinks to himself, you know what? I like Dean Kremer in this spot. So he's like, hey, Jack, you got some general soreness today. Go ahead and grab some pine. We're going to bring in the Dean. Or did Jack Flaherty legitimately have some general soreness? I don't know. But like I said from the beginning, Dean Kremer was the perfect pitcher for the night. He kind of battled around a little bit of traffic, but he only gives up 5 hits and no walks, man. So what a stinking bounce back game for him. He goes to 12-5. Webb comes in. He gets another hold. He's been absolutely stinking solid for the Orioles since they acquired him. He goes 1 inning, gets a K. Yennier Cano gets another hold. He goes 1 inning, clean, real good inning. So how about Fujinami, man? I mean, he comes in top of the 9th and just cleans house. He goes 1 inning, 3 Ks. And, this was 2-3-4, Bo Bichette, Belt, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So, he's not K'ing just anybody. That's a pretty good 2-3-4 right there, obviously. And he just mows him down, 100, 101, and he looked real good. Now, the caveat off of that is obviously it's not a high-stakes situation. The Birds are up 7-0. He's at home, and that seems to kind of be when he struggles. I'm not trying to take anything away from how good Fuji looked. I'm just saying maybe that's kind of the spot that we need him in until he can prove that he's a little bit more reliable when the game is on the line, if you will. But it was good to see him pitch well. So, Birds beat the Toronto Blue Jays in Game 2. Great bounce-back game. I think that's 80 straight series where the Baltimore Orioles have not allowed a team to sweep them. And so Birds go to 78-48. Unfortunately, the stinking Rays were able to come back against the Rockies in 10. So the Baltimore Orioles still only have a 2-game lead in the AL East. And that just makes this rubber game between the Blue Jays and the Orioles tonight at 7 o'clock even that much more important. The stinking Rays are going to keep the pressure on, man. I really thought that we might get another game, but they come back in 10, and they were able to beat the Rockies, which is probably what should have happened anyway, because Colorado is not a great baseball team right now. So the Baltimore Orioles, they'll get a chance to stink and take this series tonight. They'll have Kyle Gibson on the mound. Obviously, Kyle's 12-7 with a 4.97 ERA and a 1.34 WHIP. He's going to be going against Jose Berrios, who's 9-8 with a 3.39 ERA and a 1.21 WHIP. And one of the interesting things is that the Birds, hypothetically, if somehow the Toronto Blue Jays get into the playoffs, the Baltimore Orioles have faced probably who they're going to go with. When you talk about Kikuchi, Berrios, Gossman, or Kikuchi, Gossman, Berrios, if you will. So, we're going to get to see how the Birds handle business, man, against probably the three pitchers that they would see against the Toronto Blue Jays if they were to meet them in the playoffs. But, like I said, Birds go to 78-48. They're still got a 2-game lead in the AL East. That puts Toronto at 70-57. They're 8.5 games back of the Baltimore Orioles right now. So that was good to see in Game 2. And this is a real important Game 3, man, because if we can take this series and then we go into Colorado and the White Sox after winning this 2 out of 3, man, that's huge. That's how we're going to stack together some wins and hopefully create some legitimate space between us and the Tampa Bay Rays. So super exciting, man. How about Dean Kremer, getting the last minute, hey, buddy, I need you to take the hill and hold it down in this pivotal Game 2, and that's exactly what he does. Hopefully Jack Flaherty's okay. Hopefully he can get back in the lineup here soon, and we will see how this thing goes, man. Birds, 7-0. Stinking just open it up in the 8th with a 4 spot. Adley hits a 2 RBI single to Stinking just open the game up, man. Real big spot for the O's. Gotta love that 7-0 score. So, like I said, tonight, 7 o'clock, Birds, Jays, rubber match in Game 3. It's gonna be Gibson, Berrios. Going to be some good baseball, man, so make sure you tune in and make sure that if you haven't already, if you're a Baltimore Orioles fan and you want to support the fam, you need to like, share, and subscribe to this video. I appreciate you guys tuning in. How about them stinking Birds? And we'll catch you on the next one, Birdland.